Hi everyone. If you want to know what is this all about, check out the link in the that will appear on the screen. It's my project um, named AI Tech, and welcome to this tutorial series that I'm going to make to highlight some of the most important things that went into that project. Today I want to tackle this cool little animation, the typing effect, and there are some really useful tidbits of information here, and also this setup is very useful. For example, we have this live text that we can change and put whatever we want, and it will update live. So this node group will be useful in many other scenarios. And this animation, although it's controlled by a driver, the one here, can also be controlled easily with an empty. So if we connect the x-axis from the location of this empty, we can now control the effect just by animating the empty. So without further ado, let's get started. Let's start a new project, and I'm gonna delete some stuff that we don't need. The camera for now is not really useful to us. So what do we want to do? First, we want to add a text object. So let's add this text object, and let's zoom a little bit on it. And there are some things that we have to explain, because we don't yet have this cool node in geometry nodes that can control text. We have a little bit of a problem. We can't address the letters individually, so we can't do this procedurally yet. So the way I'm gonna solve this problem, I tried a few methods, and the one that works the best was this one. I'm gonna take the text, and I'm gonna compare the points from which every letter is made. I'm gonna compare it. I'm gonna extract the x-axis from them, and I'm gonna compare it with a value. And if it's not equal to that value, I'm gonna put the result into a mask. And I'm gonna delete it. So this will be the basics. I'm gonna compare the x-axis of every point from this text with a value. If it does not correspond, I'm gonna delete it. That's the basics of this. But one problem with this is that because we don't have access to each individual letter, we will have to do some workarounds, and you will see what I'm talking about. But first I want to change this font. I'm gonna use a mono font. It's kind of best for this effect, and you'll see why. Because the letters are not equal, so the width of these letters is different. So if we have an I, for example, here, it will be a lot shorter. So when we will compare it, we will get we're gonna get part of this letter and part of this letter, and we don't want that. So one thing that we can do is to use a monospaced monospaced font that will make letters a little bit more equal. We also could do something else to help ourselves. We can increase the character spacing. That will give us a little bit more room to work with. In this text that I chosen, it will be not such a big problem because letters are more or less equal. But For other types of text, it will be useful, and I want to make the setup as reusable as possible. So let's start with our geometry nodes tree. First of all, we want to bring this text inside of geometry nodes, and we want to hide it because we are going to use this clone. We can delete the group input, we don't need it, and I'm gonna make a little bit of more room here. So like we said, we need the x location of these points. So let's use an attribute separate xyz. We will use the position and extract the x value. Then we can take this and we can compare it. So we'll put this on greater than or equal. We take the x and we plug in a float, and the result will be our delete mask. So now if we use a delete geometry and we okay, 1 second, I think I forgot again to activate the screencast keys. Okay, so if we do this, everything disappears because we have the 0 value here, but as we start to increase this one, we get our text back. And we can see the first problem, we get this weird result where only part of the letter is visible. So how can we fix that? We can use a math node, and we will put it on snap. So that means that whatever value we have here will be the value to which we snap. So let's say we put like 70.75. When we go up, if we check out the output, we have 0, but as soon as we pass 0.75, we have 0.75. Then the value stays put until we reach again 0.75, and then we get 1.5, and this is what will help us get the typing effect. So that will be the base of our effect. As I showed you earlier, we can control this value here. We can control it with an empty or with the driver. If we want to use the driver, we can add value. Okay, notifications. Yep, I always get this. So we have this value and we put a hashtag frame. Now we get the frame inside here. So if we move the frame, we get it here. So now if we use another math node and we divide this value, because it was going to be crazy fast if we leave it like this. So if we plug it like this, it's so fast that we can't see it move. So we need to slow it down considerably. Now it's a lot better. So that will be the basis of our effect. We will disconnect it for now because I want to work on the material a little bit. So we can go to the original object and we can create a material. And then if we switch to material nodes, okay, and we want to put it on render view, scene light, scene world. Okay. I have to activate screencast keys again. Okay. So the way we want to do this is adding emission node, and let's plug this one onto the surface and quickly activate the bloom. Change this color to some sort of a green, increase the value, let's put it like 3 and the strength 4, and reduce a little bit this bloom. Okay, something like this. Okay, let's kill the background, we don't want to see it. That will be the base of our shader. And in order to get the effect from the demo, we basically need two values. Let's make this one a lot less strong, so we get something like this. And now we have to mix these two values. So let's use a mix RGB, no, a mix shader, and let's plug these two together. And now we need a mask to control this factor. And let's start with a noise. Let's plug in this noise here. And we need something to control this texture, to map it. So we need a texture coordinate and also a mapping node. Those would be good to control the texture. Let's plug in the object coordinate and feed in it to the vector. And now in order to see something, we need a color ramp because the values here are too big. So let's bring those values down. Now we start to see something happening. If we get close, we see that we start to achieve the effect that we wanted. I want to get rid of this softness here, and the way I can do this is by adding a math node and turning this gradient into 0 and 1 basically. So if I put, let's say, the value of 1, the white, and I increase this epsilon a little bit, we get rid of the gradient. See the difference? We have more harsh edges that are more appropriate to this effect we are trying to create. And I want to further break up this noise texture that I added here in a way that it will make it look more like some sort of a digital noise. And the way I'm gonna do this is by scrambling the coordinates with another texture, the Voronoi texture. And I found out that this Chebyshev on F2 gives very nice results. You can see the difference without it and with it. So now it's just a matter of playing with the values until we get a cool result. And the way I animated this was by changing one of these noises. You can change either one of them to 4D, and that gives us this seed that we can animate. Again, we can use a value node. We can add a driver, and of course something to control the speed. Let's divide this value by a very large number because this seed value is really sensitive. And now if we plug it here and we play, we get the material. And the last part I want to tackle is that typing cursor that we saw at the beginning. And the way I'm gonna do this is by taking this original text, duplicating it. Let's hide the geometry nodes for now and the other one, and typing sign. In the original demo, I used the pipe character, but you can use whatever. Let's use this underline. And going back to our geometry nodes tree, let's put inside this caret, and by using join geometry. And by the way, if you are wondering why I keep pressing these screencast keys, when you change workspace you have to reactivate. Why I keep pressing Control A If you press Shift A, you get the menu and you have a search. And instead of clicking on the search, I prefer to put a shortcut, Control A. So it's a lot faster. You can use this tip. Okay, now we have the cursor here. And I want to control this. So let's add a transform node. And now by playing with this transform value, we can move the cursor. But we want to do more than that. We want to make this move procedurally along with the text. And how can we achieve this effect? Well, it's actually very easy. So we have to know when, if we plug this one back, we want this value to make it move automatically. We want to know when this letter appear, and the way we can do this is by checking the bounding box of this object. So let's add a bounding box, and by plugging this bounding box here, we get the minimum and the maximum values of the text. And now we want only the X value from this bounding box. So let's take the maximum, which is the maximum limit, and we want this value to plug it into translation. So we need a combiner, X, Y, Z, to put it here. So let's plug this here, and we can plug this on here. So now if we play the text, we get this effect. And in order to get even more control over this, we can add an offset to decide when this cursor will appear, how far from the letters. So with this, we finished our blinking cursor as well. So we have our effect. Let's check it in full 3D gallery and see how nice it looks. Yep, it looks nice. By playing with this snap value, you can mitigate the effect of partial letter appearances, if it's the case. But if you make a similar setup with this one, meaning you have a monospaced font, you have letters that are more or less equal in width, you won't have this problem. But if you change this text, for example, let's put, instead of Blender, something with eyes. Let's put I like Blender. Nice. Okay, and we activate the geometry nodes 3. You see, things are starting to become a little bit more tricky. But by playing with those values, see, even the eye looks nice. Because the secret is to also increase the spacing on this text and have a monospaced font. That will help a lot. Well, at least until we get this very nice node. I can't wait for this one to come, because I kind of like typography, and I'm planning to do more tutorials once we have more tools in geometry nodes. Anyway, thank you for watching this tutorial. It's the first part from the tutorial series that I will make regarding that demo that I showed you the link at the beginning. I will put the link in the description as well. Thank you for watching. I hope I see you in the other tutorials. Please leave your comments in the section below in the YouTube. I would really like to know what you are thinking about it. Any suggestions, any opinions are more than welcome. And until next time, I hope you'll have a very nice day. Bye bye.